All right. Um, so you should get a message saying this is being recorded. So we're 4 minutes in. Not everybody could make it. Ellen Hammond is on vacation. Katrina Wiest is also on vacation. It's actually spring break. I didn't realize that. So she's out of town. So we'll catch up with them later. And then Mike from Neighbor Impact wasn't sure if he could make it. So we'll catch up. Is this more meant to be a project kickoff? So we understand what we're planning to do and assign roles. There's noise in the background. I have 4 grandchildren running around here. Impossible to stop or uh, uh, put into a quiet space. But so what we um, maybe just a quick overview. The news coming out of Washington and from USDA are not encouraging. No, there is, it actually seems to be getting worse the longer you listen to it. Um, I sent around a paper that, so a quick summary that currently the Farm Bill is slated to be cut by $230 billion. That is a huge amount of money when you consider that 80% of the Farm Bill is for nutritional assistance programs, right? So that's the bulk of this program. And it's going to impact everybody who is in this space. So what we wanted to do, and this is happening in communities around the country right now, where various NGOs and folks listening in on Farm Bill issues are going local with the information. Um, it really requires for communities to take a heads-up approach and understand what this means. When you have, for example, Family Kitchen, Olivia, you do what, 20,000 meals a month to people in need. If that were to get really challenged, or Meals on Wheels, if something like this gets challenged, what are we going to do? Where is the substitute, or where is this? What is this going to be replaced with? And so the best part the best thing we can do at this point is just to alert and inform the community. This is happening. This is what's going on, and give every one of our panel members an opportunity to explain the impact. So here's our budget. Here's where the money comes from. Um, uh, this is what this means to us. If that money were to dry up, or to cease. And then hopefully have some ideas that we can present in a discussion format of what it would mean. For example, Mike from Neighbor Impact, when we held this event last year, 18 months ago, also the CCL team helped us organize this. Mike, for example, was explaining that he can't source local food because he doesn't have a cook. And the way his budget is structured wouldn't allow him to hire, a chef. So he ends up buying food at basically ultra-processed food. He was able to do that, but he couldn't divert money, so that would enable him to buy fresh food. So basically that's sort of in a nutshell. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We should go through for a quick introduction here. So I'm sorry I started talking here. So why don't we go around the room real quick? Cassie, do you want to start and just tell us a little bit about where you are from and what you're doing?
Yeah. Yes, my name is Kathy Lang. I work for the Council on Aging. I'm the Director of Nutrition here. We run the Meals on Wheels program for Central Oregon. We have 7 different sites where we also provide in-person dining meals as well as our Meals on Wheels program. We are heavily federally funded, so that's of a concern to us. That's kind of my story.
Okay, thank you. And
Thank
then
you.
Olivia?
Hi, yes. Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, good. Yes, Olivia Parker here, Executive Director with Family Kitchen. Like Klaus said earlier, we serve about 20,000 meals a month through our direct dining services and our partner agencies.
Okay, thank you. And then Kate, can you just chime in? Kate, can you hear us?
Hey there, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Hi there, yeah, Kate Hafstad Kassad. I'm calling in from Madras. We have a farm and a ranch, Kassad Family Farms. I've been involved in a few, kind of the food systems projects in Central Oregon, and I've just been a part of our local agriculture scene for the past 12 years. And yeah, so our farm has been, recipients of very catalytic USDA grants for market expansion and our farmers market systems. And then some of the food distribution companies in Central Oregon also rely on grant funding to make a lot of this work in capacity building happen. So a lot of my peers are affected by the current freeze on funds. And, our children, we have daycare because of a federal program called OCDC. And one of the only reasons we can full time do our work is because there is federally funded childcare for the children of agricultural workers. So those are the sorts of programs I'm deeply passionate about working to help improve nutrition programs on, as well as just make sure that they stay alive.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Kate. And the La Pine School District is going to be represented by Katrina Wies. As I was saying, she can't make it today, but Katrina was in our last meeting, and they have a phenomenal program sourcing local food, making fresh food, lots of it from scratch. So it will be good to hear from them because school meal money has already been cut. Now they already took $1 billion out of school meals, which is pretty incredible. And then Mark and Mike from Neighbor Impact will be in a similar situation. He's going to join us next time. So then we have the CCL team. Kelly, you want to get started?
Yes, I'm Kelly Kincaid. I'm with CCL. I'm very, very passionate about regenerative fooding systems and regenerative systems in general. I'm a functional medicine nutritionist, passionate about the intersection of human health and planetary health, and understanding that we can't heal humans without healing the planet and the soil. And so regenerative food systems are important on both sides of this. And I've worked in the past on different projects with regenerative ranching and seeing the impacts on the wildlife and all of the systems there. So near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Elena, can we go to you next?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Elena. I've been with CCL for a little over a year now, and I'm just here to help with logistics and building this event, filling all the holes that I can, and supporting everyone in this project. So I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. And Dan. Dan is the leader of the CCL chapter in Bend.
Well, you covered it, Klaus. I think we're good. But yeah, I lead our Bend chapter of CCL, and we've got a great group of people across Central Oregon fired up to take action that'll help protect our ecosystems and benefit our community. I had the pleasure of organizing the previous event we did about a year and a half ago with Klaus and having Kate on the panel was terrific. So we're hoping to replicate that and even create potentially a bigger event here. So looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, thank you. That's what, and it's like super helpful to have you guys do this administrative part because it's a lot of work to pull all the pieces together and organize it, social media and all. So then last time around we had a brief introduction. We showed a film. We showed the short version of Kiss the Ground, if I remember right. And then we had each panel member show a few slides to basically explain their situation in relationship to sourcing local and how important it is to have regenerative forms of farming. And then we engaged in a discussion. It was really well attended. We had over 100 people. We had county commissioners there. We had members of the city council who attended. The Bulletin wrote an article that helped us promote the event. So it was really well done. And I think this time around, we will probably end up with more people, because Family Kitchen has a lot of supporters. Kathy, your group, Meals on Wheels, is very popular, has a lot of people. Neighbor Impact, of course, is quite engaged. So we may end up with 200-300 people if we can get ahead of this promotion. Is everybody comfortable with this kind of format? I sent out the video from the previous event. So Cassie, Olivia, Kate, I mean, are you all okay with that?
Hi, I'm Cassie Regenball. I'm the Executive Director for the Council on Aging, and I'm joining Kathy Lang, our Director of Nutrition. I have not seen the video, and I'll connect with Kathy to be able to see that, but I'm kind of listening in just to hear what this is all about. I'm actually very excited about it. I know we're all being impacted, so I'm just listening at this moment.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Olivia, you are okay with the format?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and then Kate, the important link here is farming. So this $1 billion fund that was just canceled for school meals and it was also for local market development. So that assisted small-scale local farmers to sell into the food bank, to sell to schools, and make up some of the difference between the prices they could get, let's say, from a Cisco and versus the prices a local farmer would have to charge. That is a big hit for local farmers. And I think we need to really emphasize, the implications here. And I would love to find some ways to brainstorm what's happening around the country where different communities have found solutions, found ways to keep the supply chain connected and to keep the sourcing structures intact. So, Kate, I know you are very concerned about that part, and there is no easy solution, but I think there are some great programs around the country where people have become very creative to find ways to deal with that. So what I suggest is we'll create some one-on-one working sessions when I come back to Bend first week in April, and just spend a little time to think through what this means to you, to your business, and so also for you to set up a few slides that really bring it home to the audience, to the public in Bend. Here's what this means. If we were to lose Meals on Wheels, here's the impact, or if a Family Kitchen gets challenged in by being able to buy the level of food they're buying right now, what does this really mean? And what are practical ways to workarounds with that? So we'll contact you, and just create a working session that's for the Council on Aging. Here's what this how you specifically fit into the market, and how we can work with you. And Kate, we do the same from a farming community perspective. Maybe we'll invite a few more farmers into it and just put our heads together to think, what does it take? Where are the gaps in the supply chain, for example, that prevent a Mike with the Neighbor Impact Program serving children in need to be able to process food. And so what is needed within the supply chain, for example, what's missing in the high desert, to do these sorts of things. So if that's okay, I don't want to keep you too long here. Our project team has to put their heads together here to get through the logistics of who is working on what. And we will probably contact you individually next to have this conversation and then create another group meeting. I think the timing that for the event itself, we projected like the first week in June. Is that okay with everyone? Does that work?
Yeah.
Olivia is good.
Checking. I'll just cancel my trip to the, Tahiti Islands for 2 weeks. No big deal. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally free. Not doing anything.
Okay. Kathy, you're good?
At the moment, that sounds good. I do need to connect with Cassie and a few other folks around here before I make firm commitments.
Yeah.
But at this point, that sounds good.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
confirm this. We have Ellen Hammond. She joined us last time, and Ellen is from the Soil and Water Conservation District for Jefferson County, and she's super connected and knowledgeable. So that will be a really important partner to have in the conversation as well. So we'll confirm a date, hopefully within the next 2-3 weeks, and then that will give us plenty of time to prep up and also promote the event, because we want to make sure that there is enough preceding discussion to get people interested in this. Kate, you're good with that date? Can you hear us, Kate? Are you there?
It looks like she said in the chat should be some contingencies.
Okay. Oh, I see that. Okay. All right. So for the panel members, please, be welcome to hang in and listen in. But for our CCL team, Dan, we need let's talk logistics. So we need to find a space, and Elena was sending out a note that you're going to take point on that.
Yeah, I've put out some feelers already, reached out to the Chamber of Commerce, and I know that you had mentioned potentially Family Kitchen, the church where that is held, could have some space. So maybe I can touch base with you, Olivia. I can send you an email just to chat about that. But if anyone has thoughts, open to them, but I've already kind of started sending out some emails to find some space.
Okay. Dan, who do you think is going to take the lead on the meetup development, the creative, the social media part?
I can definitely help, but I think Christian also wanted to help with some social media, and might be able to partner with him on it.
Okay. Kelly, what role would you like to take?
Well, I could really do anything. One question I had, is there a project management event launching planning tool that you are using for this? Because that is my zone of genius, what I do in some other companies as well. So I don't know if that's already implemented, but I'm happy to take a operations coordinator role synergizing. on a platform if that's needed.
That would be awesome. Yeah, if you could take point on that. I can give you all the bullet points, but it would be great to see this in some order because I usually wing it, So it's it would be nice to have that in some orderly fashion. Yeah, and also Kelly, if you would like to join the meetings with the panel members to have these discussions, then because that would be really critical to bring together a project plan, right? So, because hopefully, the one thing that really disappointed me about last meeting that we had, it was so successful. We had great feedback, over 100 people showing up, and so on, and then there was no follow-up. Now, I mean, there were some great ideas that came up. Where we, like Mike explaining, modify my budget, give me a quote, and then nothing happened. And so hopefully this time around, we can use this event more as a kickoff, right? To then continue a conversation in the community, where we actually do something with it, because this is pretty significant change here. This is pretty serious. There's no maybe this is not going to happen kind of thing. This is going to happen. They're going to cut the budget. They're already in the middle of it. So we have to have a plan to deal with this as a community. And so hopefully we can be a catalyst to make that happen, get interest and advance it further. So that would be great, Kelly, if you could take that point. We will schedule meetings with the individual panel members. And then also we need to have a PowerPoint structure, Dan, like we did last time. So there's a PowerPoint owner who collects the slides from every panel member. And your introduction and my overview and then the panel. So we need someone taking that part.
I can help with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And all of this, if we want to consolidate resources in a project management tool, I can offer up a poll of which ones, would be helpful, and I'm familiar with all of them. But that can also be a knowledge management resource database for the different materials that we're collecting for this, along with timelines and contact info and all of that kind of stuff as well. So it can be a hub for all of this coming together that everyone would have access to.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, maybe Google Slides or something like that. Yeah. And then we wanted to maybe show like a 15-minute film to get started. I mean, this really worked well last time. Maybe showed the Kiss the Ground educational version. It's like a 25-minute film. I can reach out to the Kiss the Ground organization to have this new film out and maybe do that. But if Kate, if you have a short film that you really like, I have several that we can pick from. It's sort of a good attention getter. People are still coming in, when you in the first 10, 15 minutes. So a film would be a nice opening part. And then from there we can get in. I mean, it was interesting. We scheduled just about an hour, right, in the last meeting, and it almost lasted 2 hours. I mean, people were so interested, they stuck around, they wanted to talk. So I think we will achieve the same thing again this time around. Okay, so those were the key things that I have. Is there anything else that we need to discuss?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I am wondering if this project would qualify for the Community Innovation Fund through the City of Bend, which the grant deadline for that closes on the April 15th, but it's a grant up to $5,000 for things that support like food waste reduction and well, that's one part of it, but since this is kind of in that arena, I wonder if that would qualify for this if we're looking for grant funding to support this.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
send you the link and see. And I'm actually writing a grant for that for my building, so I can see how much information I can funnel into the project management platform, so we can look at it and see if it could be an option, if that's something we want.
It sounds intriguing. If we would have to get our meetup slides done, the story outline of what this is and the panel, because that would be the best way to advertise it. And $5,000 would go a long way to help us with social media and get this going. Yeah, awesome. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll send you the links that I have, and then I'll also reach out to Kabi, who is coordinating it, and get some more info that way too. But the application looks pretty easy, but I agree, like the more impressive the materials, better the outcome of receiving.
Then there was another gentleman from the CCL group who wanted to take the lead on social media, but
Christian, yeah.
Christian, do you think he couldn't make it today, but do you think he's still in?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he just couldn't make it today.
Okay, because he seemed to be a pretty experienced guy, and if he could help us with the meetup to do the layout and the artwork for that would be helpful.
Yep, I can see if he's able to help with that. And Kelly, what was the due date on a submission?
April 15th for the Community Investment Fund. Let me drop this link in the chat, and I do have some more paper, some more materials on it, but at least this is the link to get started. And it's a rolling, so the deadline ends in April 15th, but then it rolls out again at some other point, so you can qualify for more than 5,000 a year. It's just 5,000 per grant when it opens.
We would have to hit the April 15 to have the money available because then May is going to be the month to promote this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, that would be nice. If nothing else, it will help us to focus the information and the storyline. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then
Very
the Van
good.
Medical Center would, I think, did they support that last time? But for them, it could be a big promoter of this as well.
Yeah. Okay. Dan, if you could shoot me a note with Christian or where that's going, because then we have to have a brief brainstorming session on naming the event, right? That's the critical piece, and because then from there we can structure the artwork.
Okay, yep, sounds good. Last time we had some help from Worthy, but this time it sounds like we need to get going on this before we even choose the venue itself. So
yeah, the art director from Worthy's, or their creative person, helped us last time to put the collateral together. Yeah, so we are on our own this time, but we can do this.
And there's AI, so
yes. All right, very good. Okay.
Hey, Klaus, can I ask a question? What's the desired outcome of, what are people walking away with from this event?
The primary intent is to make the community aware of what is coming down the pipe here, because most people never heard of the Farm Bill, and even those that have heard of the Farm Bill don't understand necessarily that 80% of that bill is for nutritional assistance programs, and here's the list of those. So that's one thing. So this is what's happening, right? And then give each panel member a chance to explain, this is what this means to me. This is what this means to Meals on Wheels. This is what this means to the Family Kitchen program, right? And so, and then out of that, create a discussion to say, as a community, we have to deal with this. There is no federal program that's going to replace this. The state has not made any noises about where they are going to go with this. So what are we going to do? So that's basically an information session, but hopefully really well researched and well educated on the individual programs that are impacted here. And then a particular focus, I would like to have a particular focus on farming, because 86% of the water in the high desert is used for farming. You know, the soil health is such a critical component of the entire hydrologic cycle. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's just most people are just not really aware of this, right? So if we neglect our farming and we lose the regenerative organic farmers in our area, that's a big problem, right? So that's sort of the outcome that I would envision.
So just I want to give a piece of feedback because I'm involved in so many conversations around food system stuff. And I think what's really important to me, and I hope this is sort of received in the way I hope it to come across, but like I and my peers who are doing this work have no extra time. We are literally the boots on the ground dealing with the erratic weather, the loss of like I can't be a part of conversations that are just about the problem. You know what I mean? Like I have to be part of conversations where we go in with a very direct directive of this is what we can do now, today, tonight, tomorrow, this week. And this is what we need you guys to do. And everything we're all going to be talking about comes down to how do we fund infrastructure, and infrastructure takes capital. So I feel like we have to have a clear directive of like, is there a place we're funneling contributions towards infrastructure projects? Are we asking them to sign a petition that night that goes to our representatives? Like a very tangible set of actions is what I really hope to be a part of.
Well, I love what you're saying. And I have worked with Joni, Joni from the Palouse region on the farm to market infrastructure, right? So you're asking farmers to change their crops and their production methods, but then you don't help them find markets for differentiated and higher quality crops. And then even having a farmer come up with a differentiated crop, let's say a perennial grain or what have you, where are the mills that process this? Where are the aggregators that pull this together, right? So it's a systems approach, and very few people really process this or understand this. So we definitely will. I mean, for example, a school district and Mike from Neighbor Impact, we're both saying that I can't just get raw vegetables from the farm into my kitchen. They need to be pre-washed. They need to be pre-cut. There needs to be some preparation step in between, but there's no one doing this. So it's this kind of education, that we can bring to the market. And then there are job creation opportunities. I mean, there are actually opportunities to set up a business that does that if we can provide the infrastructure and sort of the hand-holding that enables this. Yeah, I mean, this has been my focus, from an innovations brokerage perspective, empowering farmers to reach markets and markets to communicate with farmers about differentiated needs. And so establishing this communication, and this is what we have a chance to do, because Olivia can explain to the farming community, here's what we're buying, here's how we're buying it, how can we source local in this format that we need. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I mean, right there, like that would be a tangible, here's something you can do. If you're somebody with spare time or looking to perhaps pivot your career towards something more purpose-driven, build a business plan for the commissary we need to actually take local food and get it to schools, right?
Exactly.
Like, so that as a very direct ask of the audience, because people walk away from these events being like, how do I help? What do I do? What do you need? And like, I think just giving them on a platter these very direct things. Mike's problem equals this solution. You can build that business,
Yes.
In each one of these areas. Yeah.
Good. And we have a very active Chamber of Commerce. There's a very active business community, and if we can make a case of investing in the community to build these types of businesses, creating, first of all, keeping money looping inside the community instead of buying from some international company. All of those things, can make sense. And we're going to work with the chamber. We're going to work with the Small Business Bureau. I'm a member of SCORE, by the way. I just got certified as a advisor on SCORE. So we can figure this out, Kate. I mean, that's the whole point. We can figure this out.
You should invite EDCO and their pitch session, like their pitch event. It would be very interesting to have a Central Oregon pitch event, which is sponsored by one of the funds that is like a community food infrastructure focused pitch session. Like I think EDCO would be really into an idea like that.
Yeah, Kelly and Dan, let's put that on the list to contact these groups and make them aware of what we're doing. So as soon as we have this fund application for $5,000, what you mentioned there, as soon as we have that, let's go to town with it and pitch it to the chamber, to EDCO, to the Small Business Bureau, and so on. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a fun project. Okay, so we recorded this. We'll when you have your notes, Kelly, keep them like really succinct, and we'll forward this to the rest of the team, and then we'll go and get to work.
And my first step will be setting up a project management platform that we can all utilize for this. So I'll add the notes to that. I don't know how many people's emails I have, but I'll invite everybody that I do have, and you can invite everybody on there. And we are able to assign tasks and timelines and charts and drop resources and all of that. That can help keep this all organized. So that'll be one of the first things that I do, so that we all have a place to start consolidating and coordinating this information and action steps.
You guys are amazing. Thank you. All right. Very good. That's really all I had. Anything else? Any other comments? Yeah, all good. Then I'm going to sign us off, and we'll be in touch now with notes and a video, and then we'll start our follow-up sessions. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Excited about this.
Thank you.
Bye.